Hey, hey, look at us going live. We've made it through most of the book of Matthew, and we're just moving forward in it, keeping it like it is as best as possible. And you probably can't see it with my equipment that I'm using, but this is mostly red letters. All that means, all of it is Christ speaking here. But there will be precursor to this. So I'm going to move forward here and we'll do with a word of wisdom from her Father and blessings, and may He open eyes, ears, hearts, and minds to this this living word, this truth that we're going to put forth. So, verse 24, Jesus is teaching on the Mount of Olives. So, his disciples, he has left this verbal confrontation with some Pharisees, Sadducees, and religious leaders of that time that he was in when um, BC was about to become AD, okay, after his death, or after his crucifixion, put it that way. Um, so he's teaching on the Mount of Olives. He is in Jerusalem. Um, um, Passover is coming up. So him and his disciples are at Passover, or in Jerusalem at this time, and it is a buzz. Everyone is there. I won't compare it to any other religions or anything like that, but people show up at certain places uh, at certain times of the year to remember. I'm 2 minutes in here, and I hope I'm teaching something as I'm going. Um, this is not a competition, okay? For other pastors or whoever may be watching, and I know you are, I know they are. Uh, um, this is not a competition. We want to all pull together the same way, and I know there's a lot who are really trying to go that route, and this is for you guys, and to just keep feeding the sheep. What Jesus said that He wanted from Peter. From Peter. Verse 24, let's go with it. In verse 1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. So he left arguing with the scholars. He left the temple that Solomon built. Okay, that's where they're at. Geographically, they're in Jerusalem. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. So he was going to see Solomon's temple. Now, they have been there before a couple of years. Of course, Christ's God is going to be at the Passover. God is still with us on Passover. Um, we won't pick on little things like the name of the holiday. Uh, a whole other lesson. We won't overload anyone's donkey. Don't let me confuse you. Right now, we're going and looking at buildings. The building that Solomon built, that David entrusted to Solomon, Bathsheba's son. Um, Solomon would be the guy who a lot of religions or belief systems are based on today. And again, there's a lot to this. So you can it's not something you can cover everything on in what I'm trying to do in 10-15 minutes for anyone. We're moving forward. So the disciples are going to show Emmanuel, Jesus, God with us, His temple. He knows what it looks like. He's been in there a lot, but they don't completely comprehend what's going on. Here at the end of the millennium, we understand what is happening and the things and what they mean. And This study is not going to be for everyone. And that's okay. It's okay. We're looking for a certain type. So they go to show Jesus the temple. Verse 2, and Jesus said unto them, now we gotta listen here. This applies to you today. People think, stay with me, they would ponder, well, what does that have to do with me today? Well, you're about ready to find out. This is what it has to do with you today in 2022. We're here right now. By the end of this, you get down to, you just got a little bit left. That's where we're at, is in that little bit. We dusted the last pages. What a time to be alive. Well, what's changed, Jen, from the beginning? Well, here's what's changed at 6 minutes in. What has changed is we're in a global condition. As in the days of Noah, fallen angels, these types have corrupted the purpose of everything. Everything. If what I'm saying is wrong, then I'm listening. If you turn on the television for a little while or surf the web for a little while, you'll see that we are in a global condition, and that things are not aligning biblically as far as fundamental things for everyone to be successful. Don't let me lose you. We're only 7 minutes in here. We went and looked at the temple, and Jesus is there getting ready to address his 12 disciples concerning the end. All right. So Jesus said to his disciples, see ye not all these things? Question. Verily, surely, I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Okay, so they're looking at this temple, and they know that he's saying at some point this is all going to be rubble. It's all going to be rubble. And they know, they've been around Jesus long enough that their ears perked up when they heard that. They're like, okay. Because Jerusalem had been under siege many times. When that temple was built, a lot of things happened. It set things in motion in Jerusalem when that temple is rebuilt. For those who have ears to hear. I'm going to do one more verse, and this is where I'll leave off. And you can go on and read without me, but come back and let's go over it again, because you get a side view, a top view, a bottom view, etc. By hearing other people who are aware and are well versed in this. We can all learn something from one another. It would be arrogant to think otherwise. I'm 9 minutes in. I'm going to keep moving forward. And let's see. Verse 3. In Matthew 24, verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? Okay, that's big. Yes, it's big. There's no reason for me to go on with that. But what I will do is elaborate a little bit on that. When Christ is saying, see all these stones, he is not only, just as he will refer to trees as people. He will also refer to people as stones. I'm just going to come out and say this the way that it is. It's hard, but I'm going to. So he will refer to people as stones. It is figurative, metaphorical, however you want to look at it. That is that kind of speech. He's even the other side. I really don't want to say names, but there are musicians and lyricists who will say, we are fire, we are stone. So they understand what they're saying too. I'm trying to school you and help you. I don't want to say school, it sounds bad. I want to help you learn a little bit about your enemy and your adversary, one of Satan's names, and also help you to know whenever it is affecting you and be able to pick up on that a little bit faster. And wisdom is justified for children. We'll leave it at that. I'm 11 minutes in. Probably the fastest sermon you're going to find. I appreciate y'all, and keep coming back. Keep coming back. If this is helping you, keep coming back. I'll offer it freely. Who knows where we'll all end up. Thank you, Father, for being with us. Bless those who listen. Bless those who tune in, and bless your church, Father. Open their eyes, and thank you for being born in the USA for me. I love you guys very much, and I'll let you in on my personal prayers even. So keep coming back in Christ's name always. On.